It's been about 2 years since Rode launched the Rode Wireless Pro, their flagship microphone system for content creators and filmmakers. And it's been very successful, but it's getting a little old. Plus, it has a lot of competition. I mean, a lot. It seems like everybody's making a similar system. Well, in this video, I'm going to compare this Rode wireless system to the DJI Mic 2 that I've owned and loved for years. And at the end of this video, I'm going to declare a winner. I'm also going to tell you why you might not want to buy the winner. Oh, and yes, I do know that DJI has come out with the Mic 3, but the Mic 3 won't take an external lav mic, so it's really not a competitor to the Rode system. Not until they come out with a Mic 3 Pro that could take an external mic. Now, if you're new to filmmaking, you should know that every single movie that you've ever seen had its audio recorded in 2 ways at the same time. First, there'll be a microphone on a boom pole, sort of like this shotgun microphone here, that'll be just out of frame that will capture the audio. I happen to have such a microphone over here above my head. Yeah, it's pretty expensive, but you know what? Sounds pretty good, and I always love the sound of a boom mic over that of a lav mic. Now, I tell you this because when I switch over from the boom mic to these lav mics, you're going to see a big difference, and you're probably going to like the boom mic better. At least I do. But there's sometimes when this lav mic is going to be your best microphone, especially if you're in a wide shot and you can't get the boom in close. Yeah, that's why in every single movie, they're going to record with both, and they're going to take the best audio that they can get. Now, years ago, if you wanted to use a little lav mic like this, you had to have a very big, bulky transmitter, like this one from Sennheiser. So when Rode introduced its first iteration of this little puppy, well, you can see why it was so popular. Because it's lightweight and it just clips on, plus it also has a built-in microphone in it, so you don't even need the lav at all if you want to just clip it to your shirt. Now, while I have no complaints about this DJI system, a couple of years ago I was at NAB and I recorded an interview with Ryan at Rode. And when I asked him to wear this microphone, he politely declined, saying he would rather wear his microphone, which I can understand. So he hooked me up with a Rode wireless microphone there, and when I got home, I thought, you know, this sounds really good. I wonder if it's actually better. So I reached out to Rode and said, hey, could you send me one of these to review? And they ghosted me and didn't send me one. Yeah. I was a pretty small channel back then, and so thanks to your subscriptions, though, this last month, Rode reached out to me and sent me the Wireless Pro. Yeah, your subscription, it really matters. Now, later in this video, I'm going to talk about value, and I'm going to go over a couple of the features, but you know what? The most important feature is how it sounds. So let's find out right now, once and for all. All right, so here's the Rode internal microphone, and this is the DJI microphone. And I'll just switch back and forth between the two. This is with no processing applied at all. And yeah, you can tell a difference between the two microphones. But you know what? This is unprocessed, and let's just see what I can do with a little bit of processing. All right, so now I've changed the processing on here, and I've done my best to make the Rode sound as good as it can be, and I've made the DJI sound the way that I want it to be as well. Now, I didn't apply the same processing. I applied some compression and some EQ. Oh, and from the very beginning, I had to add a lot of gain to these microphones just so you could hear them, because when they record internally, they're pretty soft. Wow, so with a little tweaking, I was able to get these microphones in a place that I really like them. Now, they're not identical, but they're both in the zone of good audio. Oh, and while I'm here, let me just share with you a few tips that I've learned over the years about getting the vocals EQ'd. Now, one of the first things I usually do is I trim off the top and the bottom because those frequencies aren't in the vocal range, and I just want to get rid of anything that might be hanging out down there. But I always make sure not to go too far. In other words, I only adjust it to where I can still hear the audio and it doesn't change anything. If you go too far, well, then you're starting to eat into your sound, and I never do that. The next thing I do is pick a middle frequency and I just crank it all the way up, and then I move it around and I listen for the most annoying parts of my voice. And once I find that frequency, well, then I will cut that frequency. But I won't cut it down to oblivion. I'll just pull it back a little. And then I'll adjust the width of the cut, which is called the Q. And I'll just bring that in and out and kind of listen to it and see what I like. Then I'll pick a frequency and kind of boost it up and move it around until I find a frequency that I kind of like. And then I'll have it bumped up just a little as well. Now, my suggestion is to make small cuts. A 1, 2, or 3D boost or cut here and there is going to make a big difference. So here's the DJI mic without any processing, and here it is with a little EQ. a little bump here, and a little cut there. All right, with a little EQ, I'm very comfortable with either one of these microphones. The Rode needed a little higher end boost, and there were a few cuts in some annoying places here that I didn't have to cut over here. But overall, I really like the sound of both of these, and I wouldn't hesitate using one over the other. But typically, you won't buy the flagship model just to get the internal microphones, because you can get that with a cheaper version. Both DJI and Rode both sell a little set like this that doesn't have the ability to take an external lav mic. So you really buy these for the external lav mic capabilities. And that's what I really want to test out here today. Which one of these is better for a lav? Now, the RØDE Wireless Pro comes with 2 lavalier microphones, and these are really nice microphones. And yeah, they're included in the kit. With DJI, you have to buy the lav mics separately, and I bought 2 of them. Yeah, so let's test them out now. All right, so here's the RØDE Lav Mic into the Rode system, and here's the DJI Mic into the DJI system. And I'll switch back and forth between the two, and you tell me whether you can hear a difference. I'm pretty sure there's going to be a difference. So let me apply a little EQ and see if I can minimize that difference. So now here's the Rode with some EQ, and now here's the DJI with some EQ. And you let me know what you like better, or if you can tell the difference at all. I doubt I can make them identical. I don't really have that much of a golden ear. I just like to get audio that sounds pretty good and just kind of get it into the zone. And I think I can get these in that zone. So after testing these microphones now for a couple weeks, I'm ready to declare that the Rode microphone is clearly superior to the DJI mic. It's just a much better microphone, and it's a lot flatter and easier to conceal. Not the smallest, but not too bad. Now, just because the RØDE Lav microphone is better doesn't mean that the entire system is better. In fact, if I plug in the Rode mic into either one of these units, I really can't tell the difference. Oh, and when I plug the Rode mic into the Rode transmitter, well, it locks. Yeah, that's a big plus for the Rode system. Here on DJI, well, you have to just kind of put it in and hope it stays in. You can actually do this little trick where you clip it around like that to kind of help it so it doesn't pull out. But yeah, locking is better. So I like to use these little lav concealers from a company called Bubblebee, and it allows me to just clip this right onto my undershirt. Now, the RØDE Lav is pretty unique because it lies flat. So the capsule has a little hole in it right there, and I happen to have 2 of those. So I'll clip 2 of these on, and I'll hook them up both to the Rode and the DJI. The same microphone, so you can see if there's a difference in the actual unit itself, or if the difference is just in the microphone. All right, so I'll talk and we'll switch back and forth between the 2 microphones. Now, the first thing you're going to notice is there is a gain difference. One of them is going to be louder than the other. But I'll adjust that now, and now with the gain adjusted, well, can you tell the difference between these 2? It's the same microphone, different recorders. Yeah, I can't really tell a difference. I also did a noise floor test where I just recorded through these same microphones, just the room without anyone speaking, and then I just cranked them way up, and I wanted to find out whether there was more noise out of one or the other. And you know what? The Rode had a little bit more noise. Here. That's with me cranking it way up, and the truth is that if I don't crank it way up, well, I'll never be able to hear that noise. It's really good. It's recorded in 32-bit float, and I don't think it's going to be a problem. But now let's talk about value and price. Well, I have some good news here because the price on both of these systems has gone down pretty significantly. Remember, I told you there's a lot of competition now in this area. So right now you can get the RØDE Wireless Pro system for only $299. That's $50 off its original price it was at for years. And you can also save even more with the DJI. That's $269, down from its original price. So at first glance, it looks like you will save $30 with the DJI system. But that's not entirely true, because if you're going to use a lav mic, well, the DJI system doesn't come with one. On the other hand, as I mentioned, the Rode microphone comes with 2 of their fantastic little lav mics. Yeah, these sold separately cost $100 each. So if we're to subtract that from this, well, we'd be down to $101 for this system. So looking that way, that actually saves you $168. Yeah. That's a pretty big savings for the Rode system. But of course, under that scenario, you are actually being forced to buy the Rode Lav Mic. You might want a different Lav Mic. I really like the Deity Lav Mic. It costs about $120, and it's just a little bit smaller. Here, let me show you. Yeah, I really like this microphone, and here, I'll plug it in and let you hear the difference between this and the Rode Lav. All right, so here's the Deity mic plugged into the Rode recorder, and it sounds like this. And now this is the Rode, and now I'll switch back. Once again to the Deity, yeah, how does that sound to you? And then back to the Rode. You know, there's some differences in these microphones. I really like how small the capsule is on the Deity, and it's much easier to hide. To my ears, the Rode has a little deeper sound, and the capsule's a little bigger, and not as easy to hide, but still pretty easy to hide. So even if you prefer a different lav mic, well, having these around in your kit is going to be helpful, especially if something happens on set to one of your other lavs. And it's nice to have two of them. But even though both of these microphones record 32-bit float internally as well as transmitting 24-bit to the camera, well, there are some other differences. For example, there's the cases. Now, I really like the design of the DJI case. It's metal. It feels really good. You plug it in with a charging port here. You've got some little lights here. Everything seems to fit in it, except the wind muffs. You can't put the wind muffs in. Now, reportedly, the new Mic 3, it has room for the wind muffs up here as well as for a little cable. But remember, that won't accept a lav mic. The current DJI system also has this really great little case that protects us really well as gives you some room for some other things in here, again, for those wind muffs and for your cord. Yeah, I like this bag. It's really nice. In contrast, the case for the Rode, well, it comes with two cases, one that has the units in it. And you know, these fit in here really nicely. When I first saw this, I thought they would be a little loose, but they're not. They're super snug. And when you put them in, yeah, they don't fall out. Yeah. Really nice. It's a little different than what DJI's done. And DJI, well, they have their USB-C cable on the side, and then on the bottom, they just have some little contact points. But the Rode system comes with another little bag where you can put everything in, including your little cables, USB-C cords. Rode also supplies you with an extra wind muff in case you lose one. And I like little details like that. Oh, and the Rode transmitters, well, they have a little clip on here, but it's not magnetic. But you can add the little magnetic feature to it. Yep, so basically you have this little metal piece that will clip over the clip, and now your clip is metal. And of course, it comes with a very nice magnet, and then you can stick it under your shirt. I actually prefer this little accessory from Insta360. It's just this little retractable necklace that you can wear that is a magnet. So you put that under your shirt, and that way you can just simply attach it like that. Insta360 sells this little accessory separately, and I would suggest that if you're ever going to use anything like this, this is a great accessory to have for any system. Other than that, these systems are pretty similar. They both have a USB-C port on here, and you can hook them up directly to your computer and pull the files off. Now, that wasn't the case years ago with Rode. You had to run it through their Rode Central app and then take off the files, but they fixed that now, so you can just plug and play, and they're both just as easy. I will say that the Rode Central app is pretty cool because you can do some gain adjustment there if you'd like and some other things. There's more software advantages, I guess, doing that. But you know what? I rarely do that. I just plug it into my computer. So I don't really use the Rode Central app when I use this. Probably I'm missing out on some features, but I'm also kind of lazy. Hey, if you're a lazy filmmaker like me, hey, just hit the like button to let me know. That's a lot easier than actually leaving a comment, which you could do as well, but that would probably require some effort. So keep in mind that there are these differences, but I don't think that moves the scale of value in any way. These are both great ways of doing pretty much the same thing. So I'm here to declare that Rode is the winner of today's challenge. They have made a fantastic little unit, very comparable to the DJI in so many ways, but yet it sounds just a little bit better to my ears. And the lav mics are much better. And when you factor that price in, well, there is a huge savings. But remember when I told you that maybe you don't want to buy the winner? Yeah, because there's a couple of features that I didn't tell you about the DJI that might make a big difference to you. Now, the first reason you might prefer the DJI over the Rode is that you can get this little accessory. And now on a Sony camera, you can just put this right in and there is no cable. And it might be the very thing that pushes you over the edge to pay more money for the DJI. As far as I can tell, that accessory doesn't exist for the Rode unit. If you would, let me know in the comments if I'm wrong or if they come out with such an adapter, and I'll make a little apology video right over there telling people where they can get it. And the next feature is that the Mic 2 has a built-in integration with the DJI Pocket 3. And this is great because you can't do that on the Rode. With the Rode, you'd have to take the transceiver and plug it into the USB-C port, then maybe have to build a cage up or something or dangle it down. With the Mic 2, you just simply pair it up, and guess what? You're recording right to this unit. The receiver is built right in. Oh, but not to be outdone, Rode has done the same thing with some of their products, specifically their RØDECaster series. Yeah, they have a receiver built right in here, and you can program that so that you can go directly into this without a receiver. Now, I do have some affiliate links in the description, but you know what? You don't have to buy from me. This isn't about the money for me. It's about getting free crap from people like Rode. Yeah, and thanks to my loyal enablers, subscribers, it's really working for me. And you're feeding my addiction for electronics. Because you know what? My channel's big enough now that Ceremonic just reached out to me, and they sent me this little guy that they think can beat the DJI Mic 2. Yeah, and they have that little adapter as well for the Sony camera. So I'm really excited to check this out. You want to see that? Well, you're going to have to subscribe because I haven't made it yet. When I do, though, I'll probably place it right over there instead of the other video that I have over there. So you can just press whatever video's over there and watch the next one. Hey, thanks for stopping by.